Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader and welcome to episode 3 of Novelty Chats. Sorry there wasn't one last week, but as I mentioned in my August wrap up, I sort of had an impromptu spur of the moment trip for last week, so wasn't able to film or upload, but we are keeping on the weekly schedule, don't worry about that. So since it is Novelty Chats, feel free to go and grab a beverage of your choice to accompany this video. The mug of the week is this very stylish Kylo Ren mug. I like Kylo Ren. He is not my favourite Star Wars baddie. It says Star Wars in the handle. This was just a cheap mug I picked up in a supermarket. I liked Kylo Ren, and I like newish Star Wars movies, but original's good. I would say my favourite Star Wars villain is Darth Maul, hands down. I love him. I don't care what anyone says about the Phantom Menace. I think it was a good movie. The Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars were okay. They weren't as good as the original trilogy, but I thought Phantom Menace was good, and when I was a kid in the cinema, I was pretty blown away by it. I love Darth Maul. So quickly, a little update on my reading. This is sort of like the Friday reads, but on a Sunday part of the videos. As most of you probably already know, I'm doing Sherlock September, in which I'm trying to read all the Sherlock Holmes books, and then at the end of the month doing a full discussion on each of them. You guys can participate, read one, read them all, don't read them in order, do whatever you want. I will link the video where I explain everything about it down below, so feel free to go and check that out if you want. But this is them all. This is the bind up of all 9 novels, and I'm 3 in, so I'm about on track. I'm filming this on Wednesday, so not on the Sunday, so I'll probably be a wee bit ahead by the time you're watching this. But yes, I think I'm on track. I am feeling a bit slumpy at the minute, but if that rallies round, I should be okay. I should get it done. So I have so far read the Sign of the Four, the Study in Scarlet, and The Hound of the Baskervilles. And Hound of the Baskervilles is my favourite book of all time, not just Sherlock Holmes' book, but my favourite book of all time. I love it. And I am now on the Valley of Fear, so I'm reading like the 4 novels first and then getting into the short stories. Yeah, so it's going okay. Today I didn't have an awful lot to talk about that I could think of, but I had quite a lot of people message me in different ways and telling them that they really enjoyed my sort of story time aspect that I done in my last video, my last Novelty Chats, and also my last Top 5 Wednesdays. So I thought I would do another sort of story time looking at probably my favourite series of all time. Shocker, it's not Harry Potter. The Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. This is the first book in the series, which is so tiny and cute. Like, I love it. Like, it's a little hardback and it's like done so fancy and oldie whirly, and it's so itty bitty. These books have a very important place in my reading history. They were the first sort of series that I was like into, like waiting for the next release to come out. Like as they were coming out, like I was waiting on the next one. And they were also the first sort of books that I was able to really read completely independently. I read obviously books for school, but normally my reading at home, if my parents didn't read it in some way with me, I was constantly asking support to help me get through the books. And I read a lot younger than my chronological age due to my dyslexia, so even though these are made for sort of primary school children in the beginning, at least I do believe like the Harry Potters, they get more advanced and for an older audience as they go along. But I would say the first sort of 5 to 7 are really for like 9 to 11-year-olds, and I didn't really get round to reading these till I was about 14, 15, and I couldn't have read them any earlier than that. Like, my skill level wasn't high enough to have read them. So they were a real sense of accomplishment to me. The illustrations in these books blew me away. Oh, look. I wrote my name on the inside. Look how bad my handwriting was. This is like 14-year-old me. I wonder if I done it on them all. Let's see. Let's just pull another random one out and see. Oh, that's the truth behind Serious Fortune, which actually isn't a bad book. It's like a coffee table book. It's just one that you would skim through, but it actually takes things that happen in the real book and like explain them. Like, could they have happened? Were they realistic? Kind of interesting. Let's pull another one out at random and see if I autographed this one too. Okay, The Foul Village. This is book 7. No, I must have only done it in the first one. That's kind of cute. I like that. But yeah, well, there's the glorious end pages, but the illustrations in this book too. Like, I am a terrible artist. I do crafts. I can like make things, but when it comes to drawing, painting, all that, I have an interest but no skill. I would be very into my animation. Like, I can watch old animated movies and nearly tell you who the head animator was or who had a hand in the scene or with a particular character just due to style. I'm like that obsessed. But I have no skill. If you do want to see someone with a really good skill for illustrating, I'll link my friend Susan. Hey Susan, she lives in Australia now. We miss you. I'll link her professional children's illustrator Instagram down below. You should check her out. But yeah, the illustrations in this book really, really grasp me. As having an interest in that sort of thing. But it was the storyline that really took me away and had me hooked on these books. For anyone who doesn't know, it's about 3 children who are made orphans overnight because of a terrible fire that kills both their parents. So there's Violet, the eldest, then Klaus, the middle child, and Sonny, who's only an infant at the time. In the first book, they're put into the care of a distant relative, Count Olaf, who's only after their fortune and tries to harm the children. They manage to get taken away, and then they go through a succession of different guardians and situations, and Count Olaf always tries to find them and win their custody back. These are not happy stories. They're quite gothic in style, and I really, really enjoyed the difference to them. It really appealed to me. They were a little bit quirky and different. The writing style is something I really enjoy. It talks a lot throughout the whole series about words and the meanings of words and how people misuse words, which I thought was really interesting. In the books, the children are constantly talked down to, like they're talked to as if because they're children they're inferior. And as a teacher, that's something that I find really interesting, and one of the things that I really hope to achieve is treating children with respect and not treating them as if they can't understand things, which is really addressed in the book. I loved the secret society spy aspect. I was obsessed with as a young child, like a spy. Like, I used to tie a skipping rope around the staircase and like abseil down the side. Like, I was getting myself prepared for my action in later life. I've never abseiled down anything, but when the time comes, I will be prepared. And I love that sort of thing. I think it's the 7th book, actually, The Foul Village. Crows are very important in the story, and at one point crows are used to deliver messages, and I used to write messages. This is so sad. Because I used to play with my younger brother. Like, he hadn't read the books, he had no interest in reading the books, but I used to like tell him and keep him up to date with the secret society and pretend we were in the secret society. And I used to write notes and like tie them up like little scrolls and leave them on his windowsill when he wasn't in the room. And when he came into the room, like, he legit believed that crows were leaving little notes with secret missions on his windowsill. He was so excited. So yeah, so lots of fun games and good childhood memories came out of these books. My 13th one doesn't match my other editions. The UK editions that I have are black on the front and back with like a letter detail, and then each different one has a different coloured spine, but they're sort of in a scheme and they sort of look like they have thorns all over them. My 13th one is the American edition, which is cream, and it doesn't have the same detailing and has sort of like ruffled, wet, stained pages to make it look like it's a case file that's been missing. The reason why I have the American one for the 13th was because I was on holiday in America when it was released, and I had to get it there and then and read it there and then, and there has been a couple of instances where I found the 13th book in the matching edition to the rest of mine, but I don't know, I like the story and the memories that surround this book. And by this time I was probably about 16 when this came out, something like that. Let's just check, shall we? Somewhere in around mid-teens when this came out, so I had been following the series for a while, waiting. I had to wait for the last, I think I got up until about 10. Like, as I was reading them, I read them slowly enough that I didn't have to wait because the first couple were already out, and then by the time I got the last couple I had to wait. So I picked this up in America on my holidays and loved it. I do think the series drops away around 6-ish. It gets into more of the spy stuff that you would think I would enjoy, but not really. I think it gets a little monotonous, and a lot of groundwork is set in those latter half, but not the ending books, to set up the ending, which is good. But yeah, the first sort of 6-7 are classic and great, and I love them. And I think I've done enough gushing about this series for today. My next topic is an advice section in which I don't give you advice but ask for it, because you guys are nice and help me out sometimes. My shelf organisation has become poor, to say the least, and I'm running out of space and I don't know what to do. I do have more shelf space in my house, but it's not together. So I don't know, should I like start splitting things up, or I do have room on some shelves but not for the things that I need space for. I'll explain more in a second, and hopefully you guys can help me out. So this shelf is normal size books that don't really have a colour, are black, cream or white. That's okay, we've a little bit of space here, not much, but hopefully by the time another 2 or 3 books arrived, I'll have got rid of 2 or 3 books of these, have read them. This shelf is books that are not like normal UK standard paperback size, so a lot of them are hardbacks. They're just bigger version of book going in ascending order. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves that are my series, so I just intend to keep them as series shelf. You don't have a lot of room for them either. Like I have a Harry Potter shelf with about 5 series on that shelf, about 5 there, 3, 4 there, and 2 or 3 here, and I have some space in this bottom one. And then this shelf is my just normal sized UK paperbacks in colour order, but these are all read and non-read. I don't have them separate of books that I have read and haven't read. And then down here, these are just big books that I can't fit in this shelf. And then the sort of smaller sized paperbacks in the UK, I don't know what America's like. We have sort of like 2 standard sizes, small and then slightly bigger. And that's just how I have them organised. My normal size and coloured is running out of space, and so is my general small section. It says I have a little bit for black and white and quite a lot of space for larger books. But I don't know, should I split these up? Should I take out the ones that I have read? don't know. I'm really confused and conflicted. I don't have any more shelving space in this unit. The other shelves that you can't see are my series. And then I do have other shelves over there. Those shelves are taken up and I'm shelving downstairs, but I don't know how I feel about splitting my books up. I kind of like when I want something to read going and seeing everything. So it's hard times. It's not easy being a reader. And I certainly wouldn't want to be a professional bookshelf organizer. Against what most readers would say, I don't think I would want to work in a bookshop. I think it would kill me. Library I could maybe do because you have so much more interaction. I think with people, certainly in my library, like they chat away and recommend books and that kind of thing. I don't know, maybe it's more in a bookshop than a library. But in my experience, the library is way more interactive, so I think I would like that more, but I don't think I would like either, to be honest with you. This has become really rambly, and this is going to be a short novelty chat. But when you've nothing to say, I tend to say stuff anyway. So I hope you are all having a fine reading week, month. We're into September, it's getting autumnal. Love it. Leather jackets, scarves, boots with fuzzy socks. All about that life. I hope you're all happy. I hope you're all healthy. And I shall hopefully see you again if you continue to watch this nonsense that I post online. Please consider subscribing if you found anything of interest on this, or going and checking out my other videos. It's like this most weeks. Nonsense rambling about how much I love books and what books mean to me. So I'll see you later. Bye.